Debate live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe. Hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live, and there's also a Ko-Fi, Patreon, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and X. Now we are joined by Neil, Refracted Curvature, and a whole bunch of people in the Flat Earth Debate Discord server, so welcome one and all.
How are you?
Folks. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I'm very well, thank you for asking. How are you all? Well, I hope.
Good.
We're going to do a little shout.
We're ready.
We're ready? Well, find out what for in a minute. Maybe I should do my call to action immediately. Right, I'm going to do a little straw poll survey because there's a couple of different Flat Earth videos that people have suggested in no particular order. So from Vlad, there's another Flat Earth Dave video. Quite what it is, don't know, but it's another Flat Earth Dave video continuing from the theme yesterday when we covered Flat Earth Dave. That's one of the options. So we'll call that number one. There's what have Christians historically believed about the shape of Earth? That's option two. There's actually four options because there's one left over from yesterday. But number three is going to be Kevin Nash on Flat Earth Theory. Or that's going to be number three. Or
the Kevin Nash, Nathan, it's only about...
Too many F-bombs in that. You'll never be able to play it.
Which one's F-bombs? Kevin Nash?
Yes. Okay, Every other word.
Well, let's forget that then. The three choices are another Flat Earth Day video. It's just a different one. Llama diet tips. No idea. Anyway, there's that Flat Earth Day one. There's the Christian one, Christian historically shape of Earth. Or there's the Joe Rogan one. So those are your choices. Joe Rogan's going to be number three. So there's your good choices. Number one for Flat Earth Dave. Number two for Christians. While I get rumpused with my call to action, I'll try that again without hopefully the interruption from Neil. Number one, Flat Earth Dave. Number two, what Christians believed about Flat Earth historically. Or number three, Joe Rogan talks about how Flat Earthers need to wake up. Let us know from the chat.
That was me. That wasn't Neil.
Exactly. You're so used to freaking blaming me that Neil, you won't even blame your special boy when he's guilty of it.
Absolutely
That's
fine.
what me and Brian have discovered.
John, I'm sorry I shouted at you. Neil, can you stop interrupting? Okay, so we got a few votes in already. We'll leave it to run for a little bit while. But if you're ready, we'll do a housekeeping question while people are voting. Any evidence of axial rotation of the Earth-based variety?
That's a special boy fallacy. I created one just now.
Axial rotation, Neil. Axial rotation of the Earth-based variety.
Negative.
And what is the plane of reference we're going to describe this axis from?
Earth. Polaris.
Oh no, you can't describe it from the outside of the object.
I mean, if you could, inferring that we would in any way be suggesting that this has a globe related to it, it doesn't. And if we were to suggest that it did, we'd be inside it for a plane of reference in hell, the equatorial plane.
Well, that's your belief.
Right. You can't measure, or you can't reference something unreferenceable. The center of Earth isn't referenceable. Why would you try to reference it? It makes no sense.
The voting is kind of even, Stephen. It's fairly even for all of them so far. Maybe I should run down the voting options again. So number one,
I think it's only we do number 3.
Want to cover Joe Rogan? Oh yeah, well that's fair enough. If it comes to a deciding vote, feel free. There's at least 50 people, 50 plus people in the. I know we've only just started live, but yeah, Vlad, you're saying number 3. You were the one who suggested.
I vote 3.
Yeah, Vlad from the chat has said 3. He's the one who suggested number 1.
No, but I didn't suggest that. I just shared the vid from the member from the Discord.
No, I got that. I do this typically, don't I, Vlad? I'll blame you for the video you have kindly shared from someone else who suggested it, and I'll start blaming you. Okay.
Well, if you listened to Vlad yesterday, he said he never wants to hear anything from Dave Weiss again. And I don't blame him.
Yeah, not in those words, but pretty much, yeah. I have to say, that's true.
Well, they're useful teaching tools, and I'm sure it was you that said we want our ambassadors to do a better job. Was that not you that said that, Vlad? I'm sure it was.
I don't think I said it like that. I said I'm pretty disappointed with Dave and his teachings. I didn't say it like that.
Okay, somebody pointed out that these are the bigger names within our community. Yeah? Now, for whatever reason, they focused on getting out and about, putting their faces in front of more people, and for that I applaud them. They're doing a better job than I am. Now, it's all well and good suggesting I need a manager or something, but ultimately these people without any managerial assistance have managed to get their faces in more places than me. Me, I've focused on the arguments and the debate to put us in a winning position in terms of those rhetorical devices we use here every day. Now, we want to communicate those rhetorical devices to the people who have got their faces in front of others. I can't physically do more than I do. I don't have enough hours in the day.
Wait a second. You run a daily debate show. They don't. You're out there more than them.
Okay. Yeah, but I'm not.
No, but Dave Weiss is the one who reached out to Eddie Bravo, man. And I think Nathan should have spoken with Eddie Bravo first. Because Eddie Bravo said Nathan is awesome, not Dave Weiss. You know what I mean? It's just about getting that email from Eddie Bravo. And to connect with that, John, Refracted Curvature from yesterday, I saw your comment on one of Dave's videos from a couple of months ago. But my question is, can we get an email? I was looking for Eddie Bravo's email. I wouldn't mind reaching out to him and, trying to set up the little interview with Nathan. If we have an email, I would do that.
Well, that's the problem that we're in right now. Is any email that we know of at this moment is a private email that Nathan cannot give us, or we cannot ask that of Nathan because it is a private email. I'm still trying to find a way to contact Eddie Bravo on a more professional level, and that has been shown to be difficult.
It is.
Well, that's of course Nathan's just a little scared.
Anyway, shout out Jardo. Brian is scarce. Is that right? Brian is scarce. Adam is scarce. John is going back to work. That leaves Johnny and Neil. I've no other option but to tune in to Jaren. Says Jardo.
It's funny.
What are you talking about? You got Nathan. Nathan, like the people watching this show, when a baller does come in, they watch for Nathan to take them apart, not for Refracted Curvature to take them apart or Brian to take them apart. This is always going to be Nathan's show because Nathan is a better debater in the moment.
That might be true, but the information I'm debating with is the information I get from everybody around me. So it's a double-edged sword when I have to take the attitude that I can't get too upset about an open panel that I offer open to almost 100 people daily. Now, the people who do enter from those 100 people, so you've probably as an audience heard me talking about Master B. Well, Master B has got 93 people currently. It sometimes goes over 100, sometimes it's under 100, depending on who decides that they don't like us anymore and leaves the group. But whoever decides to join the G Plus panel is just, that's up to them. Now, over the years, I've put less and less emphasis on getting more people into that group. Now, recently, there's been a few that I've added, One Deck being one of them. There's a few others that, some of them have actually joined the group. Some of them have just, let it fall by the wayside. But there's several participants from the public who, generally will rise to the occasion so much so that I want them on the main panel. Yeah? And if one day nobody comes in, that doesn't, number one, mean that there isn't 30 people in the Discord server. And if there was no one in the G Plus panel and nobody in the, heaven forbid, in the Discord server, I'd still do an hour-long show. Go back to show number 25 and listen to me introduce the show and sit in silence for 5 straight minutes, and then come back and go, if you want to join, I'll put my YouTube channel on the line because I'll give you a link to the G Plus show I'm running, directly connected to my show and channel. Yeah, very dangerous game I was playing back in the day. But I'd sit there for prolonged periods of silence. Now, if, let's say, the argument went cold, highly unlikely, it's never going to be, not contentious. But if it did, I'd still sit and run the show, because there's always going to be some guy who hears me doing a call to action and saying, oh, by the way, Earth's measured flat, if you did want to come in and debate me about it, I'm sat here waiting, and then there's a protracted silence. Yeah? So be it. Eventually someone will come in, because they don't want to hear me telling them on a live stream, Earth's measured flat. There'll always be someone that doesn't want to hear it. I absolutely guarantee you. So, in some ways, I have to be quite cold with the panel and go, no offence, if you didn't turn up, the show would go on. Doesn't mean I don't have my favourites. John is absolutely one, if not the only one I have. Let's be honest.
Well, speaking of favourites, is George in the Master B chat? And if he's not, can we get him in there? Because after I leave this week, that'll be the only way I'll be able to communicate with you guys. And I'd like to stay in touch with him.
What, via telepathy and George? Am I missing something?
Yeah, George from Discord.
Again, George.
Yeah, I have no problem with that. Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah, we need to get you, and there's several others that need to be in the G Plus panel. So, people like Sensual Goat should have been in there ages ago. I don't know why he's not. George, the same. Be With the Buzz hangs around in Discord intentionally. He's doing moderation things. But I believe he's in Master B, and if he wanted to, he could join G+. But there's several.
Yes, there is. And are they not being asked, or have they been asked and they've turned down? Because I don't want to feel like I'm pressuring them to do something. I would like to stay in touch.
It's a link that goes out. They can join if they want. If they have Master B, that link goes to them and they can click on it.
Maybe I'll ask
I'm not talking about the people that have Master B.
Rather than let's drag out through the live show. So George, specifically, Sensual Ghost, Mush, Jardo, Dank, Be With a Buzz. Have you all got links to Master B? And if not, it's kind of rhetorical. Get in touch with one of the moderators. I know Be With a Buzz is in Master B. And make sure you get linked in through Skype. If you don't have Skype, you have to have Skype. Okay, well, I'm going to draw a line under this now because we are streaming live and people have taken a straw poll for what video they want, and it was pretty unanimous in the end. It was definitely Joe Rogan. So that's what people want. That's what we'll cover. Fine. So, usual call to action. Thank you for voting, by the way, if you put your 2 pennyworth in the live stream chat. As always, I'll do a little share. So go to this channel, which is it JRE? University of JRE. I know he's got about half a dozen or a dozen channels, but this particular one is University of JRE. Let him know at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me. There is a link to JRE or University of JRE going by in the live stream chat right now. So while I'm doing this call to action, if you are in the live stream, do it as we speak, literally now. Click on that link, go to Joe Rogan and tell him at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me, we covered your video. Now, based on past experience, there's going to be a lot of pausing because any JRE video or any JRE channel likes to copyright strike people if you use more than about 25 seconds of them footage. as I found out last time when covering the guy who was talking about ether, I believe. Forgotten his name now. Guy was War Machine. Anyway, point being, I'll probably end up doing a lot of pauses, but we'll get right into this once people come back after my call to action. So, as always, let him know at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me in one of the comments that you leave when you help him in the YouTube algorithm. The highlight being that if they do the same in return, we'd get a link to our video if they were to do a response. So that's the idea. Hopefully we'll bolster them in the meager way we can with this very small YouTube channel. Go ahead. I'm just doing this call to action prolonged so that people can actually come back. Go ahead. Go ahead, whoever that was. I'm saying the same thing over and over again to give people time to actually go to his video and leave a comment and come back and hear me tailing off with the same call to action they left when they went to do it. Also, if you're watching it after the fact, please go and let him know at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me. Right, hopefully that's enough time.
I have seen this, Nathan.
You have?
Yes, and Mr. Carson is about to appeal to gas behaviour, and he's about to talk about gas.
Okay, let's get into it.
People. Oh man, I just try to be quiet. I just tell them, look, it's not my thing. I remember Flat Earth Society offered me money years and years ago, and I was like, no, I don't believe the Earth is flat. I'm not getting involved with this. And
that's interesting. So Flat Earth Society are what we would definitely define as controlled opposition. They're the ones that are coming up with edges for a flat Earth, so that there can be false dichotomy arguments with the edge of a globe in the form of a geometric sphere edge for boats to fall over, or the dome that we're supposed to be defending when you've got a high-pressure gas system next to a vacuum in violation of a natural law. So all these straw men have been set up by the Flat Earth Society. They're prevalent when you do a search for this topic.
It really attacked me hard, death threats and everything else.
They get very upset.
Yeah.
What? Did he suggest that if by rejecting the Flat Earth Society, he got death threats? I'd love to see that substantiated if that's true. I doubt it's true.
Do not understand. I just think it's people committing to an idea.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense.
Well, it's a religion now. They turned it into a religion. Anytime that...
Who's they? Yeah, are you suggesting Flat Earth is a religion? Maybe for some of our compadres, they have a belief in it. So you could compare it tantamount to a religion for some Flat Earthers. We just point out how Earth is measured. It's measured flat.
That people can attack you so brutally over that. I mean, I'm on live talking about quantum physics, and they're in the chat. The Earth is flat. The Earth is.
You're in chats talking about quantum physics, are you? Really? Okay. We'll see who this guy is. Who's this guy? Is this Billy Carson?
I can guarantee you what he thinks is quantum mechanics is actually quantum field theory, where he tries to take his beliefs in heliocentrism, relativistic motion, and Newtonian mechanics, and kind of just push them all together and tell everyone that points out that that's ignorant, that they're wrong.
I mean, so that's like, I mean, one guy.
I'm fascinated by it because
it's interesting.
Because it's the ultimate conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
The ultimate conspiracy theory is that we are all on a set, and that the Earth is flat. It's a.
How is it being caveated? We were all on a set. Is he insinuating simulation? I don't really understand what he means by that. All the world's
trying
stage,
to say
perhaps. Go on.
He's trying to, I believe he's trying to say that there are these powers above us that know the Earth's flat, but they've tricked us into believing that it's a sphere because we're trapped inside this actual dome structure, like what would you call it, with the Truman Show.
I see. He's putting that idea as the his rendition of what he suggests flat earthers believe in this idea that he calls the ultimate conspiracy, right?
Yeah. So this is what he thinks would have to be true for the statement that the Earth is flat to be true.
disc. There's a wall. The government's aware of it. They won't let you pass a certain distance. Yeah, there's ice walls.
Yeah.
And that space is just lights in the sky.
Right. That's it.
Sounds like familiar rhetoric from some of our counterparts in Flat Earth, so I can't blame him for, rattling this off. I mean, we would, as we did earlier, suggest the origins of this in terms of Flat Earth Society narratives in false dichotomy. But we don't peddle this, do we? We peddle a very different rhetoric on Flat Earth debate, which is to say Earth is measured flat for everyone. If you're going to make a globe claim, it will have its origins in a flat Earth measurement. Only yesterday we had an example of exactly that, when pointing out to a globe Earth believer that Aristophanes and his angles off a flat plane can only be described as a flat Earth measurement. That's what they are. Or you can deny that he's getting an angle, in which case deny the very essence of your claim to be globe proof that uses a flat Earth measurement. That's how we do business. Now, the idea that there's a nonsensical flat Earth is very much in the mind's eye of the public currently, after 10 years of feast of nonsense garbage coming from a lot of our counterparts and us. So I can't really blame Joe for having this perception of flat Earth, but most of it has come from things like Flat Earth Society that they themselves mentioned in the opening. And
the sun is a bulb, and all this kind of stuff. It's wild.
And it's attached to a version of Christianity, which is very interesting.
It is. It's tied.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, there's a different faction of flat earthers that would be Christians in this discussion that lean on their Christian rhetoric from the Bible about Earth in its measurements according to the Bible. We just appeal to Earth in terms of how it's measured. For everyone, including globe believers, when they suggest that they've got globe proof, it isn't, it's flat Earth proof, because that's what is actually being measured.
Right into Christianity, the 6,000-year-old.
Is that somebody? Go ahead.
Yeah, in this discussion of belief, which I don't know why you would even discuss what you believe, but that's interesting. Have they talked about why flat earthers believe what they believe, or have they just addressed what would have to be true if flat earthers were correct?
I think both would be satisfactory in a current, discussion forum of flat Earth for a normie. For us, it isn't. Neither is acceptable, right?
Right. That's the point I was trying to drive at. Is it doesn't matter which way they go with this. It's still non sequitur to the conversation. Why are you even discussing it?
Yeah, but we'll get into the biblical nonsense that he's going to presumably poo-poo.
Themed Earth is only 6,000 years old. The reason why people think the Earth is 6,000 years old is because most of the tablets are 6,000 years old, and the Bible was written from the information that came from tablets. So that's as far back as anybody's quote-unquote knowledge seems to extend.
Again, completely non sequitur to the subject of flat Earth. I mean, this is in a video that's called "Flat Earthers Need to Wake Up." Now, as a stereotype for lots of these different factions that you're bundling together as flat Earthers, maybe. I mean, we often criticise our own side for their use of various different aspects of their beliefs when they appeal to their own understanding of flat Earth, because it makes their understanding of flat Earth just a belief also. So again, it's hard to be critical when we are also criticising a lot of our own side for this. And this is the perception of flat Earth. It just isn't us.
That's where the 6,000-year-old theory comes from, but they've taken that thing and turned it into a religion. I remember one guy DM'd me, and he was going off and telling me he was going to shoot me in the head and all this stuff. And I said, let me ask you a question. If there's no atmosphere...
Sorry, who's telling you that you're going to get shot in the head? What the hell?
I mean, this guy's delusional.
No, what it is flat Earth, because of the way we're talked to. A lot of flat earthers lose their empathy for other people, and it's a lot easier to just say things to people without thinking of the repercussions upon the individual you're speaking to. This is a problem because idiots like this guy can take someone who has been abused for probably 8 years and told to drink bleach and called a retard, who has just been pretty much molded to speak in the most harsh ways. He can now point at that individual and say, look how bad these people are.
Yeah.
And that's a shame.
Yeah, but nobody
I
ever
hear you.
passed
Let me
a
just
death threat. Come on.
let me just hear you out. Yeah, I agree. Right, you've got a justification and an explanation for why you'd be potentially taught to that without me just saying, yeah, I don't believe that. Okay, let's take it as read. Somebody threatened to shoot him in the head when they were discussing flat Earth with him, and the justification is as given by John a moment ago. However, you don't become the monster that you're fighting. Yeah, we are told to drink bleach and told we shouldn't reproduce as flat earthers. Yeah, we're told that we should be locked up in the nut house or criminally convicted of something. Yeah, that's what we get. So yes, we have been, if, as John puts it, abused for what, 8 to 10 years. For me, doesn't mean I can become the monster I'm fighting against. It doesn't mean I can tell him that I'm going to threaten his life. That's outrageous. I would also condemn it and decry it, regardless of the justification and how right you are, John. You are right. I'm not disagreeing with you.
Atmosphere, then what are you breathing right now? He goes, what do you mean? Well, I'm breathing oxygen. I said, well, that's a gas. Gas doesn't exist. I said, well, then you should be dead then.
Gas doesn't exist was the counterpart argument from the flat earth side, according to this. Okay.
Come on.
No. Gas requires containment for it to press on and develop gas pressure. Without a container, there can be no pressure. And the heliocentric world derived from flat earth measurements, in model format, has a globe earth in a sky vacuum. There's also liars who claim to have taken photographs of a second law of thermodynamics violation globe earth with high pressure gas not expanding into a 10 to the minus 17 torr black area known as a sky vacuum, or outer space to you if you're a normie. We can't have a sky vacuum. We'd all be dead because the gas would fill the space. Now, it kind of sounds like he's dumbed that argument down to there'd be no gas, we would be dead, to misrepresent that argument. No? Go ahead.
No, what he's done is there is a thing called Scientism, I believe, where that if you can't see it, then it doesn't exist, right? And one of the Glober's arguments against that is, well, what about gas, right? And because I remember from the other side of it arguing with flat earthers that asserted that if you can't see it, it doesn't exist, and then I would point out that gas exists and you can't see it, and they would respond by saying gas does not exist. I can't see it.
Unless he was talking to Spurs Chemo.
Atoms do not exist. I cannot see them.
Right, okay, I got you. Okay, let's read out a couple of super chats because I'm being told off by a super chat for not reading them. So, we've already had the first one from Jardo, but I'll read the next one. John, you are going back to electrical/instrumentational if you do good on you and good luck. I've really butchered that. John, are you going back to electrical/instrumentational if you do good on you and good luck? There we go. That was a bit better. Yeah. Also, read chats. I did read chats. How dare you? Thank you for the super chats.
That is the hope, Jardo, and thank you for your well wishes.
Coolio.
Because you're breathing a gas. And what else are you inhaling when you breathe? He goes, oxygen. I said, well, no, you're breathing in, helium, krypton,
mostly nitrogen.
Yeah, nitrogen. I said, you're breathing in all these.
Krypton? Krypton, I guess.
Did he just throw in a rock that only exists in Superman's the DC universe of comic books?
That's the planet.
Did he just throw that in there?
Krypton is the planet. You're breathing in krypton.
But krypton is also in the DC comics a gas whenever kryptonite is cooked down into a gaseous form in the comic book. Is that what he's talking about?
I guess so.
These other gases, oxygen is only around 21% of that. Otherwise, you'd be dead. So he didn't. He couldn't tell. I said, "Did you graduate from high school?" He said, "No." I said, "I stopped talking." So that's when I realized, don't waste your energy on these people.
Well, this.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, that sounds like a Dumbo. I mean, yeah, you can argue that would boil down to a very stupid conversation. I wouldn't disagree. But our argument's a little more complex and nuanced than that particularly crappy argument. Our argument would be that in order to have gas pressure, that's the air that you're breathing, then it needs to press on something. And it can't press on a sky vacuum. It would disperse into it in line with entropic law, the second law of thermodynamics. That is to say, gas fills space. Go ahead, John.
And also, for you to define that layer of gas having 21.6% of oxygen, 80% nitrogen, however you want to break it down, sir, you will describe that with respect to sea level, and that is a flat Earth. So you might need to wake up, flat earther.
There's a lot of dudes, unfortunately, who just get on YouTube and they listen to very charismatic people talk that don't know what they're talking about, which I do all the time. But they...
He's talking about me.
But they do it in a way where they pretend they know something is true that's not true.
Yeah.
Oh, that's definitely not me. I'm not pretending that we measure Earth flat when we measure Earth flat. What I do, Joe, is I take our opponents who believe they're on a globe, that's right, belief, and show them where they're measuring Earth flat. That's what I do. So I highlight how they have taken a flat Earth measurement and turned it into a global belief. That's what I do. I'm very charismatic, though. I'd like to think so anyway. What can I say?
And people get sucked into it.
I know.
And I just don't understand why you would...
Sucked into a measurement? I don't know if I'm going to go with that. Can you be sucked into a measurement?
No, but I think he's talking more of like, say, if someone asserted the Michelson-Morley is an experiment and that it's showing that either the ether exists or heliocentric motion exists, and it is a true dichotomy that you can prove scientifically, and it has been proven, but they just dismissed the ether as one of the options instead of the heliocentric motion. Yes, I think his appraisal could be valid in that position.
Would think that Earth is the only one out of all these things that we've observed that's flat.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense. And I think this is respectfully to all these people that believe that. I think it's a giant waste of time.
He just said the Earth is the only thing we've observed out of all of these celestial bodies that is flat.
Earth is the only one out of all these things that we've observed that's flat.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense. And I think...
Yeah, it did. He's putting it into an if statement on behalf of the person he's representing with the argument, though, I believe.
This is respectfully to all these people that believe that. I think it's a giant waste of time.
It is.
I mean, that is your opinion, but the bit I have to critique is the word belief. The people who believe this, you tell me where I've got a belief when I show you Eratosthenes measuring Earth flat, elevation angles with respect to a flat baseline, latitude system that developed the grid for the map being measured off a flat plane. What about the mile distances on all the maps? All flat. What about Google Earth when you zoom in and actually utilize the reference system that people build with in Google Earth Pro? It's all flat. You can take an elevation profile and measure it in Google Earth. It's all flat. These are how we deal with and measure Earth. But it's a belief. Tell me which one of those I was believing in, because I'm confused. If you think I've got a belief, I haven't. Go ahead.
Right, and there's the resolution loss calculator that measures a loss of resolution at the horizon using your eye level, and that's height above surface level, to establish how much resolution is lost from the bottom up. You know, that calculator is a flat plane calculator that you guys call Earth curve calculator, but it's not. And that's where all your beliefs about Earth curve come from. That, and as Nathan pointed out, the idea that the latitude system is somehow comporting to the idea Earth's a sphere, and it's not.
Shout out to Alexandra for the super chat. It says 4 more hours. I don't know about that. We'll see how long we get on with Joe Rogan. But thank you very much indeed. Please smash the super chat to support the show. I'll also do another call to action. Please let Joe Rogan know at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me. Hopefully he'd put a link to my video if he was to do a response or mention me in any way to help me in the YouTube algorithmic love that we definitely do not receive as flat earthers.
I think concentrating on the shape of the Earth, even if it was flat, who fucking...
So, shape, no, aspect. The bit we measure isn't a shape. The extrapolation from the aspect of Earth we measure that's flat can be turned into a spherical shape. But you're convoluting the two like they're in any way associated with one another. They're not. The measurement of Earth is flat. We measure Earth as a plane. We reference Earth as a plane. That's what Earth is. We build on it flat, navigate it flat. Earth is obviously, observably, navigably, and measurably flat. Now, that fact is used to make your globe claim for a shape. Go ahead, John.
That's not where he's going. He's going to what does it matter what the shape of Earth is, right? That's what he wants to go to, is how is this going to affect anything, right? And try to downplay the importance of it. But he has an entire panel and a show based around this point. So it obviously matters to him. Why is he trying to play it off?
Well, it's non sequitur either way. So if you say to me that, let's take the 1984 example, right? 2 plus 2 equals 5. No, it doesn't. Yeah, it does. No, it doesn't. Yeah, it does. Okay. If I prove to you that 2 plus 2 is 4, will you accept that? No. What I'll do is I'll question how important it is to life that 2... No, that's completely non sequitur. Earth is measured flat. What's that? What difference does it make? I don't care how much difference it makes to you. It is absolutely and utterly inconsequential to me, the one pointing out how Earth's measured, how it affects you, how you feel about it, what it means in the greater picture of what the world would have to be doing if they're lying, blah, blah, blah. None of it's relevant. Earth is
You're absolutely
flat.
right. You're absolutely right. It is irrelevant. But just to what he's actually saying, it makes no sense in the context he's saying it, because if it didn't matter to you, why are you talking about it?
Cares.
You know?
Look at what's going on out there. Yeah. It would be kind of crazy if it was flat. That would kind of like bolster the idea that we're the shit, right, and that we're just so much more powerful and advanced and special than everything else in the universe, because we're the only.
Again, why make this extrapolation? You're making this leap. You know, it no longer is being contextualized within what your opponent believes is the case, with a straw man example of what you think flat earthers believe with a stereotype. Now this is just you, Joe. This is what you worry about, not me. And it's not a consequence of finding out how Earth is measured either.
Only ones that exist on a flat plane.
Right.
But the whole thing is just so insane. Yeah. Just what we know about the physical universe itself. And about
an asymptotically flat plane, when describing it, that's flat also. Did I say that correctly, John?
Yes, you did. Yeah.
Yay! Yay me! I can speak English.
Yeah, Mr. Rogan. What we know about the physical asymptotically flat universe is that the universe is asymptotically flat, and that the angles we measure are 90 degrees to ground positions. So, what do you think Earth is, Joe? What do you think Earth is?
Flat, Joe. It's flat.
About atoms and just what we know about all the matter that exists in our lives.
Again, unless you're going to connect this in some meaningful way to the claim that Earth is spherical based on measuring Earth flat, or the flat out pointing out that Earth is measured flat, what atoms? It's just so non sequitur. La la land, mate.
Is insane.
Yeah, it's insane. I mean, you know, obviously,
Joe would say even if you're right, you're wrong.
Even
go ahead, whoever that was that KC or was that Goat?
Joe would say, well, even if you're right, you're wrong.
You have to expand on that. I don't. Obviously, that makes no sense, but you'll have to expand on what you mean by that.
Well, he's saying it doesn't matter anyway. It doesn't matter anyway. None of us matters. But yet he's talking about it. So even if you're right, you're wrong. He just hates us. This is all just to scare people out of looking into it further. A gatekeeping.
He's discussing it with this guy. Why would he be discussing it with Billy Carson? I mean, I don't actually know who Billy Carson is.
The problem is they're constantly trying to put flat Earth into a solar system.
Hold on, Neil. Yes, that is very much on topic, and normally I'd be praising you for getting us back on track, but I do want to expand on what Sensual Coach just said. What you're saying? Yeah, what we can't. We're damned if we do and damned if we don't, because if we prove it, who cares? According to this idea that that Joe's putting out there. But I'm saying, okay, who is Billy Carson, and why would he be discussing flat earthers needing to wake up with Joe? Does anybody know who this guy is? Why he would be relevant to the subject? Why he'd be specifically a guest talking about this? Beyond him, back in the day, being offered a position at Flat Earth Society, according to him. Anybody know who he is?
Ask the Americans, they're guilty of producing him.
I'll take that as a no. Nobody knows the relevance of this guy. Fine.
Speaking on behalf of all Americans, we do not claim Billy Carson, and we barely accept Joe Rogan on behalf of all Americans.
Who is Billy Carson?
I have no friggin' clue. I have no clue. I don't. I'd have to see his face. I'm not picking anything out.
Well, I'd like to say you could see his face, but he's got him. He's a black guy with a not black. I think it's red. I'm not very good with colours, but he's got a very dark background and not particularly great lighting. And because I'm looking at him on a projector, which has got crappy contrast, I can hardly see him.
He's a plant.
He's an author. He's an American author.
Yeah, he started like a forbidden knowledge series about the Anunnaki and such. But he's like a plant.
Right.
He's from nowhere. Nobody.
Oh, okay. No, that's what I was looking for. Whoever said that. Was it Flat Earth Ranger or something?
Yes.
Thank you. That's what I was looking for when I was fishing for it earlier. Thank you very much. I want some background on who he is, because we don't know, obviously.
Forget quantum. Standard physics. They don't comprehend it, and so because of that, they're lost. I mean, satellites don't exist, obviously, to them. So
I remember that's a kooky one.
Oh God, satellites don't exist. No. The claim that there is satellites in a sky vacuum is a claim that there are tin cans floating around in an area that doesn't exist. There is no sky vacuum. If there could be the claim of satellites in this area, then the gas would also fill that area. The high pressure gas we're breathing would disperse into that area that the satellites are claimed to be in. So that's Flat Earth Debate, debunk the fundamental premise of the area the satellites are claimed to be in. Furthermore, the mathematical description of what they do in an area that doesn't exist is orbits. And orbits is a derivation of a system created by measuring the angles to the stars off a flat Earth. So the derivation of the claim that they're in an orbital motion comes from a flat Earth measurement. Of course it does. All roads lead to a flat Earth. Earth is flat. And they're in an area in the rhetoric of a globe Earth in a sky vacuum that would have us without gas to breathe. If you believe in the laws of nature. Oh, of course, you don't have to believe in them if you're a globe believer. You can just believe that gas won't fill space in line with entropic laws of nature because your model has gas next to a vacuum. Oh, that's perfectly fine and dandy, though. No, it isn't. You can't have satellites in a sky vacuum in an orbital motion that is derived from flat Earth measurements.
One.
I remember Hurricane Maria.
Don't exist as a kooky one. Bro, you can watch them.
It's crazy. Hurricane Maria comes and destroys the Caribbean, and I unfortunately had some loved ones that were involved in that, and I posted a picture.
Oh, we're on to another non sequitur. How does this have any relation whatsoever to the nature of Earth?
Well, he just said you can watch the lights in the sky above your head, right? Move, and that's satellites. But if you notice, when I spoke about them, I said above my head, or I would describe them above the horizon when I'm looking at them. Above is a term that is solely with respect to a horizontal plane of reference. Why would you say above? You joke.
Yeah, the terminology, if you want to actually believe these derivations of flat Earth measurements, Joe, would be out from a globe in an orbital motion derived from sphericity measured off a flat plane. I mean, you should get your terminology wrong rather than just proving a flat Earth by saying how high things are when you watch their angular relationship to the horizon change. Again, a description that can only be described from a flat plane. So looking at the lights in the sky will only ever lead to a description of a flat plane relationship, because that is how they're described. For us and you, with your globe belief, and us with our just acceptance of how Earth is actually measured, for your globe belief, that's flat.
So I was raising money for hurricane supplies, and they were commenting and attacking. That's a fake image. It doesn't exist. I'm like...
So these are people who are deniers of hurricanes. They're not flat earthers. You know, if you talk about numpty idiots, the fact that they might also have a flat earth belief is non sequitur with this claim. Now, I would obviously decry this. Oh, my bad, it's being built up as a straw man to burn to make flat earthers, the very specific stereotype that this is being associated with, look stupid. Oh, what a wonderful, fallacious reasoning plan that we have. It's just rubbish. This standard is garbage. This is mainstream, though, isn't it?
Let me ask you this. How much of that is bullshit? Like, how much of that is government, either entities from other foreign governments, where they jump into these subjects to make people seem really stupid? Yeah. And when people...
You're doing it. Projection, much? That's what's just happened in the last 25 seconds. What?
Right. But he's trying to say that people who assert the Earth is flat are either being paid by foreign operatives in order to make real conspiracies look stupid, or they are retarded.
Oh, it's the old poisoning the well or muddying the waters rhetoric, right?
People say something really stupid if they have... One of the things they like to do is put a foreign flag, like an American flag, rather, in their little... their profile.
They always have that, yeah.
And they're just saying that dumb as shit.
Yeah.
And I'm going, I don't know if this is a real person. I think it's not. I think it's one of those...
Again, this is completely non sequitur to the subject at hand. Whether or not you got bots with American flags in comment sections. Why do they talk about this stuff when the title's Flat Earth? Right? Aren't you supposed to be talking about flat earthers? But now we're talking about bots, by Joe's perception.
Those things that's designed to muddy up any discourse about anything.
Muddy the waters, called it.
Yeah, it's a psyop. I'm telling you, I told people about
this psyop. This is people who think they've already won a debate. They think a debate happened and that they're on the winning side of it. And now they're making fun of the people that don't get it. That's what they're doing now.
Premature, right?
The debate which his buddy Neil deGrasse Tyson refused to undertake.
Yeah. Because why would you? He's already
saying that this debate...
Go on, John.
Oh, I was just saying, they're saying that this debate happened over 200 years ago. What are you doing? Catch up, get educated. There is no debate about what fucking is, you morons. I'm sorry, I apologize. I don't
It's all right, we've got two left. Joe's had one of them.
Well, a long time ago, this whole flat Earth thing was a CIA psyop.
I think it was.
Drop it in there.
If it wasn't
yeah, I mean, let's just lean into them rather than lean against them, or whatever the phrase is. Okay, what we on Flat Earth Debate called the Feast of Nonsense could, if I was a conspiratard, and I don't want to be argued as you are arguing it. What do I mean by that? I mean, ice walls, edges, domes, air, they gave us as an example of things that don't exist. All of these nonsense rhetorics, let's give a few more, ether, alongside clone centers, Mandela effect. Come on, guys, help me out. Name a few more. I've already said ether. There's a whole bunch of things that come alongside as conspiratorial subjects or paths to flat Earth. Conspiratorial paths. Now, those things we call the Feast of Nonsense. And what he's describing, Billy Carson, is a CIA psyop for the general consensus of what flat Earth is. What we call the Feast of Nonsense. So in a way, he's right. What we critique our own side for using the standard fair arguments that have been put into our midst by whoever. He's saying CIA, but by whoever. It might be us ourselves. It doesn't matter. But that would be the psyop. The psyop being to create a perception of something that is so fundamental to every single globe claim, that is a measurement of an Earth that's flat, as being about air that isn't real or about edges will fall off. Yeah? You've got to make it stupid. Now, whether or not that's been done by the hidden hand, the CIA, whatever, isn't really relevant. Because what is relevant is how we break that down in a slightly different way as the Feast of Nonsense, and he just perceives the Feast of Nonsense to be flat Earth. We come along and go, we're actually bracing against that you're calling flat Earth as well, because it isn't. Earth is just measured flat. And because of that simplistic truth that you must adhere to have your globe belief, they've got to turn the most simplistic of facts that we all deal with into something else. That's where the Feast of Nonsense comes in, and that's what he's critiquing. So we can kind of go, I agree with you, but for the fact that you're ignorant of how Earth's measured. Anybody got anything to add to that? My little ramble, my little rant?
Yes, I would like to say these flat earthers who claim that flat earthers are stupid, these globe believers, they're still flat earthers. I think they need to wake up.
Yeah, they need to wake up to the fact that in order to believe in a globe, they need to measure Earth flat. Now, while they might perceive flat earthers to be these crazy numpties who talk about clone centers and Mandela effect, we here, the ones critiquing them in this moment, point out that your globe faith comes from flat Earth measurements. And you're entitled to your belief, but knocking us for pointing out the origins of your globe faith, and that's flat Earth measurements, isn't something you can really realistically do, because you're decrying the origins of your own faith. That's a faith in a globe. Because the origins of the measurements are just in line with how Earth presents itself to us. Earth is flat.
CIA psyop, it was someone from 4chan who just wanted to be silly and went so hard with explanations that a lot of gullible people without science degrees like me, they went along with it. And it's just one of those things.
What? Why are you giving explanations to a what is inquiry?
Not him, it's the 4chan people telling him Earth is flat that he went along with, according to this. I think he's lost in the I'm explaining how flat earthers are, and in reality, his own pain and his own experiences. Because he's just literally phrased it in such a way that is to suggest that these 4chan clowns were something that he went along with in terms of Earth being flat as a belief. So he's fallen victim to the flat Earth belief and woken up from it, realising this Feast of Nonsense is garbage. And then, because you've woken up from the Feast of Nonsense, you go, well, therefore Earth isn't flat. That's kind of what he's reminiscing about, as far as I can discern.
Things where it's just, man, what a giant waste of time.
It is. It's a waste of energy. And there's so much more we can learn, like these ancient texts. And people say, well, why do you always focus on the ancient past? Well, because the past is prologue. If we don't understand what happened back then, we're doomed to continue to repeat these cycles of time that we've been in.
Yeah, you're right. It's all just a little bit of history repeating. Dun, 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 dun. Shirley Bassey?
Well, don't we point that out? Don't we point out that history is repeating every 10 years? There seems to be a resurgence between the flat Earth and the globe Earth, supposed debate that never actually happens.
And it's all just a little bit of history repeating. Dun, 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 dun,
Right. So when is this
geometric horizons are making a comeback.
Exactly, right? It's cyclical. When is the debate ever going to happen? Their religious institutions are in place. We've given them every single advantage we can possibly give them, and they won't even discuss it now.
They set it up in a way where it appears that there is a debate, but there is no debate on their end. The matter's been settled. But we're over here crying from the other end. Oh, yes, there is no debate. Earth is measured flat, and that's just the facts of things. So they set this up perfectly.
History repeating by Propeller Heads featuring Shirley Bassey. Not to be confused with celibacy. Something very different.
And for quite some time, for eons.
Yeah, I mean, it's just direct evidence that civilizations don't last when they go kooky.
Yes.
And that things go sideways.
It's profound.
Sideways, and there's natural disasters and wars.
Again.
It's obviously not true. We know for a fact heliocentrism has been around for 100 years. That's obviously kooky. It seems that
We lost John, or we lost my computer?
your paradigm. Oh, it might be me.
Yeah, it's just you temporarily. Go ahead. We've got you back.
Oh, I was just saying that the more kooky a religion is, the more it draws the society together and the more cohesive they become. So the statement that the kooky religions fade away and societies fall apart because of them, I don't think that's true.
This is
because heliocentrism has been around for over how many years? Centuries.
Yeah, it's only when you juxtapose it.
Water ball's been around.
You have to give people a reality sandwich that they can actually digest. So with people like Joe Rogan, he's covered Scientology subject several times. And when he has, he's failed to appreciate that Scientology religious belief is based in heliocentrism. Now we're pointing out the origins of heliocentrism being the measurements of Earth. A flat Earth for angles to stars to develop a heliocentric orbital motion-based system with the angles originating in hell when transposed from a curved surface that won't function with angles. So we can explain the origins of a globe Earth religion. But when you put it to somebody that your globe Earth religion is no different to the Scientology's globe Earth religion, they're both the same. They've got the same origins. They're both utilizing flat Earth measurements to put the world into a sphere shape with an orbital motion around the sun. Because Scientology is a sun-centric system no different to heliocentrism. They are the one and the same thing. But you see Scientology as kooky. Why? It's no different to your religion. It's the same. It's got exactly the same origins.
The reshaped landscapes, like, look, that's all there, and it's happening right now.
Yep.
And if we're not aware of it, it'll happen to us, and then we'll be a footnote of history. We'll be one of those things. There was this amazing country called America.
What is it with these non-stop non-sequiturs to the subject matter at hand? We're almost at the end of the video, and one non-sequitur fallacy after the next.
They got crazy. They created all this art called...
Yeah, flat earthers will bring down America because of the kooky religious aspect. What are you talking about? We measure Earth flat, and it's the basis of your stupid, fundy, kooky globe religion.
Right, but this is an appeal to people's patriotism to think that flat earthers are somehow anti-patriotic.
Correct. And is there any globe proof yet? Have they brought any proof that Earth is definitely a globe? So this whole flat Earth thing is silly? Have I heard any of that?
Yeah, what we've typically critiqued people of not doing, as Neil has just done. Yeah, if you had solid globe proof, you'd open with it. Just so we're all clear about this subject before we go any further, here's how Earth is proved to be a sphere. Here's a measurement of it being a sphere. Right, let's talk about these kooky idiot flat earthers, because now we've proven that we have actually won the debate with categoric proof of our claim. We can move on and wonder why we've even got the subject. Is it a CIA shill plant muddying the waters of real conspiracy? Yeah, you could do that. They didn't, Neil. But that's what I'm suggesting we do as flat earthers in 2024, isn't it? What's your opening gambit the moment you open your mouth if you're ever in this circumstance? If I was Billy Carson. Oh, we've got a flat earther idiot with us today called Nathan Oakley. How's it going, Nathan? I don't know why you call me an idiot. Earth's measured flat, Joe.
Culture, and they did amazing things, but they went fucking sideways.
Yep.
They sold out the money, they got involved in wars, and then the next thing you know, the world is operating essentially like communist China. The whole world.
Yeah.
And that's possible too, kid.
Yeah, that's possible, probable, maybe. I mean, it's just completely non sequitur. Your views on this are irrelevant. Your opinion on what may come to pass as a consequence of Earth being flat. This is so ludicrous.
All right, you got to fight for this, because whatever this thing is that we have, this is like,
those are fighting words for people like Craig. Yeah, all the women beaters out there, you can unite them to fight the flat Earth.
Super fucking unique. But if you want to look at the past,
when he appealed to the Geekiverse, if you remember when we covered that video.
No,
I'm not going to debate this, but you guys in the Geekiverse, you go out there and you fight this for me. Joe's doing the same thing.
Who said that?
Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Oh, really? You guys in the Geekiverse? Yeah, between beating up drug addicts and women, you can fight the flat Earth.
If you're not fascinated by ancient structures, if you're not fascinated by what kind of technology and knowledge that they have 4,500 plus years ago to make the pyramid,
then you could also go and look at Antiquitech from people who claim there's a Tartaria next to the cake area. You can, but it would be completely non sequitur. You know, they're partially people who we critique. I mean, we see them as absolutely ludicrous, but you're suggesting that the alternative is to go and look at Antiquitech. Oh, really? All right. We can pretty much tell what Joe Rogan's currently looking at on YouTube, right, Joe? You a fan of Martin Leaker?
Hold on a second. If he's going to talk about ancient structures, then let's speak about how they were built and what they were built on. Because you're not building any of this stuff on a sphere. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Ouch, Neil. That was an excellent segue.
It was. That was great.
That was it.
I almost rounded out on that note, but we have got a little bit more video to go. But that was worthy of me rounding out and asking people to stay tuned.
Pyramids.
Right.
Who are these people?
Exactly.
What were they doing?
God damn it. It was right at the end as well.
If you want to assert... If you want to assert with the pyramids that they were using angles of the pyramids to align with celestial objects, that's going to be a problem, Joe.
On a sphere?
Yeah, it'd be a problem on a sphere.
Yeah,
because it is only possible on a flat plane.
We absolutely are. That is going to be something for Joe to mull over as I invite my audience to stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow. Unfortunately, though, if you are watching this live, this is where we bid you farewell. So, another massive thank you to today's Discord and G+ panels for making today's live show possible. And, of course, a massive thank you to all of you for hitting the super chat, liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, letting Joe know at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me, and all that good stuff. I've been Nathan Oakley. Stay tuned if you're watching on an after show, and I will see you all in the next video.